Have you ever poured your heart into trading and nothing seems to be working? You've done everything you could, but nothing seems to be working. It seems like trading is not for you. You're just not breaking through. Well, that's how it was for me as well. I know the feeling. So let me share with you a secret that really changed everything for me. And hopefully it will work for you provided you have patience. So when you look at this channel, you realize we've learned a lot of things. We've learned about trend reversals. We've learned about trend reversals. We've learned about trend continuations. We've learned about the explosive trend strategy for indices, yes, and now I'm sharing the long term. However, I'll start sharing this long term most probably next year, but let me just make things easy for those who already understand these other strategies, because this will also help them a lot. So first of all, if you look at the trend continuation, I said some days, I'm just gonna be quite quick because this is something we've already done countless times. I said and each day will have a high and each day will have what? A low, right? So if the next day it goes and violates, say it violates this high and it closes somewhere here, of course they violated the previous day's high, so this becomes a trend day. Why? Because it trended, right? And how do markets move? They move like this, right? So we are looking at this on a daily basis, which makes even things more easier, right? So again, this day is going to have something like a high and it's going to have something like a low, right? So what are we looking for the next day? The next day we are looking for prices to drop to key areas so that we can take the continuation all the way up. First TP is here, TP1, and then the other TP we hold until the close, right? So again, this day will have what? A high and a low. Very, very basic things, okay? It has a high here and then it has a low here. So with this said, what are we looking for the next day? We are looking for prices to drop so that we can take them all the way up. And I gave step-by-step criteria for each of these strategies that I've shared, and I honestly spent more than a year explaining just one part of the strategy, one strategy over a year, just to make sure everybody gets these things. All right, so why do we wait for this? Why do we want to execute somewhere here after a pattern? Why do we want to buy here? Why do we want to buy here? It's because prices move like this. All right, so we want to position ourselves here because we're not going to get it at the tip. Why? Because if we try to guess here, what if they keep going down? Because some days they will give you a trend day and the following day they will go down. Why is it like that? Because we have three types of markets. All right, we have an uptrend, we have a downtrend, right, which goes down, and then we have ranging markets. So ranging markets go sideways. So yes, it can give a trend day this day and go up, the next day comes and closes down, simply because they are ranging. All right, so this is important information. The next day again they go up, so they can do things like this. All right, this is what actually they spend most of the time doing. Prices spend most of their time ranging more than trending. So you'll find that over 80% of the time prices are ranging and only 20% of the time they are going down or really going up, right? I'll speak about that, which is why I'm actually sharing this long term with you on this video, but I'm gonna start sharing it next year for the whole year. All right, so when we got this here, this is a trend day again. Why? Because they violated the high of the previous day. So what are we looking for? The next day we want to see prices collapsing. That's where they give us the pattern, breakout, retest, and then we want to take it all the way back to the top, right? Yes, that's what we want to do. Why? Because here we got a TD. All right, so with that said, we're not always gonna get this. All right, we're not always gonna get it. So some days we're gonna get something like this. They just start collapsing. You see, if they do this, then there is nothing for us to do. They just collapse without giving us an opportunity. We're not just gonna be in every move. We want to be in moves that we understand very well. However, some days, of course, this one will have a high again, this will have a high over here, and it will have a low over, it will have a high and a low over here. So at some point, even if prices go up and up like this, at some point they're gonna do this, right? At some point they're gonna start reversing. This is how prices move. Remember, we have three types again of trends. We have a minor, we have an intermediate, and we have a major trend. So even if prices are going up on the long term, like for example, I say prices go up, pull back, go up, inside here we have many minor trends, right? We have many intermediate trends, we have many intermediate trends, and again inside these intermediate trends we have minor trends inside of them. So we have three types of trends, and that's important for everybody to understand. All right, so here's the most important thing. Some days they are gonna do what? They are gonna reverse reverse, although on the bigger picture they're going up, there will be intermediate trends that we can actually capitalize on, right? So this one is the trend continuation strategy, where we do what? We follow the trend. It's this one. I've shared it for the longest term. Even the trend reversal, I shared it, because if you look at the first part of the playbook, I have a playbook in the description which outlines all the strategies I've shared from the very first time I built this channel. They are in a PDF format and most of you already have it, and it's a lifetime update. The advantage with that is the fact that you can go back and study each and every strategy that we've gone through, because I spent a year on one strategy. So once I'm done with this one, I'll move to the next one. Not to say I'm not actually trading those ones. I am trading them because I've been doing that for a long time. All right, so you can also go back and study those that we have shared recently, because I know on YouTube people just want to watch the recent video. They don't care about the videos you posted last year, but each of those videos carry a lot of weight. That's why I made the playbook, because I know, like, if it's a book, you can just open it, print it, and just read it over the weekends. So if you look at book 1, currently I posted 3 books on the playbook, and right now I'm working on this long-term one, and I'm gonna update it so soon. So it's gonna be 4 books as one playbook. So on book 1, that's where we shared roughly the trend reversal, and we also shared trend continuation. And then on book 2 of the playbook, because you know, if you have it, you have 3 copies so far. On book 2 we shared the explosive trading strategy for indices, and on book 3 we shared the trend continuation strategy, right, in more details with some differences from the first one. This was book 3. So book 4 now is gonna be the long term. So I don't really have a lot of strategies, but all these things build together into this long term one for those who enjoy long terms. But still, each and every day you can take them individually because they are sufficient enough for short term traders. Okay, so at some point we're gonna have a trend reversal. As I'm saying, prices are actually gonna start reversing at some point here, you see. So what happens if they are gonna reverse? They are gonna give us a sign, because this is gonna be the high. And right now I'm gonna introduce something very important, which is yesterday's closing price. So once we have the high over here, we're gonna have a price level where they closed yesterday. And then when we have that, now we have some crucial information. If when we come to our charts, we see that instead of pulling down so that they can go up, no, they don't do that. They just start consolidating the entire day here, you see. And right before the session opens, they break down and then they pull back like this and give a super big candle. This is a reversal. Why? Because they are holding prices up here. Remember, when they come down here, they are giving us a buy low opportunity. You always hear buy low and sell high, right? So when they are doing like this, they are playing at the high. Most likely they are gonna collapse, and this now becomes a sell high opportunity. Buy low, sell high. That's all it is. So when you get this kind of an opportunity, mostly it's gonna collapse all the way down, and this is gonna be the heaviest move that's gonna pay, because most likely it's gonna take everybody who was in profit, most probably from the past 5 days. It can happen any day. It can happen on Wednesday, it can happen on Monday, but most likely it's gonna take everyone from the previous 5 days. Sometimes it can take people out from the previous 10 days, you see. So these things are things that we must all understand. We must all understand, and I share them individually on a lot of videos on this channel, because I spent a year focusing on only one strategy to make sure things become easy. Remember, I also struggled in this industry, so I wish somebody could hold my hand. And when I got to find out these things, I want to make them easy for everybody. But one thing people don't have is patience, and patience is the most important trait in this business. That's why I spent the whole year sharing one thing alone. So with that said, let me show you something important now. Very important. All right, now we are gonna look at the bigger picture. When we look at the bigger picture, remember, bear in mind all the strategies we've shared from ever since we started this channel. That's what we're gonna use for this long-term strategy. That's why I'm saying, if you are new to this channel, watch all the videos I posted from 2 years ago, because they are the ones we are using even now. Yes, I know I focus on one strategy for almost a year, which makes people forget what we did last year. That's how I do things, because I want to walk with those who say hold our hands. I want to work with you. I want to share one thing until everybody understands. That's why you see that I share one thing for the longest term, but that doesn't mean I've moved on. I'm still using everything I have shared with you ever since I started this channel, which is why I said, for those who have the playbook, at least you have the advantage. You just print it, you read it on the weekends. This is gonna work for you. Say for instance, if prices do something like this, by the way, we look at the daily, the weekly, and the 4-hour for this one, nothing less. All right, so if prices did something like this, and they do something like this, and they do something like this, right, and eventually they come down to here. All right, so one thing you're gonna realize is we have 1 point, we have 2 points, we have 1 point, we have 2 points, and everybody around the world is seeing this. Every hedge fund, every bank, everybody is seeing this, right? And most likely this move align well with fundamentals, all right? So look at this. If everybody's seeing this, if prices are coming down here, what are people gonna do? They're gonna put buy orders here, pending orders. Some people don't want to be on the chart, so they're gonna put a buy order maybe all the way here and put their stops maybe somewhere down here. So what is that gonna do? That is gonna trigger a buy, and the moment it triggers a buy like this, everybody who sold, if they haven't taken their profits, remember people will be trailing their stops as the move is going in their direction. When their stops here gets triggered, they become what? Buy positions, and this becomes momentum, and more especially when they start showing a reversal here at this area, because we are at an extreme area, everybody is gonna start buying heavily. This is gonna push your move with heavy momentum to the upside. See, so you can use bigger time frames to your advantage. And when it comes here, obviously here most people are gonna put sell orders, right? That's why you find that most of the time, over 80% of the time, prices are ranging, they are consolidating. Why? Because everybody around the world sees this. See, so they are executing what they see, and prices are moved by the orders that are in the market. So again, when prices come here, they can come and stop hunt everybody, but remember, they are gonna meet a lot of momentum, and when they have already shown a sign of reversal, that's where people are gonna start selling heavily. And some people will ask, why do they always give something obvious like this when everybody knows? Here's why. This usually is happening on a bigger time frame, so it takes maybe days or months for this one move alone. It takes a long time for this one move alone. Most retail traders are impatient. Most retail traders just want to execute and make profit today. For them, it's about today. They don't care about the month having 30 days. For them, it's all about today. If they lose, they're gonna revenge it because they have to make profit today. They can't sleep without locking profits. They can't sleep without taking an execution. There's no such thing as patience. So this is why these things always work. Most people will just be being caught here in the middle. Why? Because they don't even see the bigger picture. They don't even come to bigger time frames to analyze on them. They're just impatient, right? And because everybody sees this and everybody tends to push this, that's why this is gonna work very well. More especially big companies, they are gonna see this and they're gonna take advantage of this. And when heavy money is coming in, it's gonna push the move down. So what's our job now? Our job is, if we are here, remember I shared all the strategies with you. If we are here, we can look for a trend reversal strategy. If they give us a trend reversal strategy, we buy here and we enjoy this move. Sometimes you find that this move is 1,500 points or pips, all right, or pips. This is gonna grow your account heavily without you doing much work. And when they keep giving you trend days going to the upside, you can just keep adding to your wins and trailing your stops. But you already know that you are in a bigger consolidation, and most of the time they're going to be consolidating. So when they come here, you are liquidating your positions quite right before they hit the line. You are reducing your position, you are closing them, and now you are looking to see what they do, because yes, they can break out, but if they confirm, maybe they give you a trend continuation. Say for example, they come here, they bounce, and they give you a trend day. The following day you can enter with a trend continuation to the downside, where they pull back, you sell, and you enjoy this move. If you got 1,500 pips going up, you're more likely gonna get 1,400 or 300 points or pips when they come down. And even when they come here, they can still do that up until the time where they go and break out. But most of the time, as I'm saying, they're gonna spend most of their time trending, more especially if you look at bigger time frames, all right? Because they can be trending on a daily, or they can be ranging on a daily time frame, but on a 15-minute time frame, you're gonna see this as a huge trend, all right? So take those strategies that we've shared, take those strategies, master them please, and apply them when prices come to the extremes on a bigger time frame. Sometimes you find that on a 1 hour time, on a daily time frame, they're doing something like this, where they started the move here. You see, you have 1 2 1 2. Most likely, yes, your job is not to just sell here. You're gonna first see if they give you a trend reversal or they give you a trend continuation strategy, right? If they break out, pull back, and here for some reasons they give you a trend continuation, you can take this one up, because this is a breakout reversal. This move is gonna go most likely this size times 2, you see. But if they come here and they don't do that, say for instance, when they come here, let's say they give you a trend reversal strategy, you can take this one, and the following day when they give you a trend continuation, you are adding more size to this move and you enjoy it all the way to here. You see, when it comes here, your job is to see what do they do. If they give you a trend reversal, you take it. If the following day they give you a trend continuation, you take it. More likely it's gonna go up, because most of the days on a bigger time frame, they're gonna just spend their time consolidating. You see, prices don't really do much. They move in the long term. Short term is just fluctuations and noise. So this noise to us is an advantage, but knowing exactly what what we are looking for and using exactly all the tools we have. Say for example, again, if we come here, you realize that prices are just doing something like this. All right, you have 1 point, you have 2 point. Actually, you have 1 point here, you have 2 point. This is the third point, and down here is 2 points. These are so strong points. Why? Because everybody sees them. Here there's going to be a lot of pending sell orders. Here there's going to be a lot of pending buy orders, you see. So when prices come here, if you get a trend reversal, I just explained what a trend reversal is. If you get a trend reversal, what do? You take it. The following day, you get a trend continuation setup. You wait for them to do this, because let's just say they broke the low of this day, they gave a trend day, the following day they pull back and they give you an engulfing candle. You take it and you just enjoy this move. As they keep giving you trend days, you are adding more size and trailing your stops. You see, you're gonna enjoy this move and you take your profit right before they hit this line, because you know there is a lot of momentum. There's a lot of buy orders which are mostly gonna reverse here. And again, if the trend reversal setup is not shown, however they give you a trend day, the following day you can just wait for a pullback. You enjoy this move all the way up. That's what they're going to do most of the time. Over 80% of the time, prices are ranging more than trending. So unfortunately, most of you have already forgotten the first strategies I shared. You see, that's why I decided to make the playbook a lifetime update. You get it once, you have it forever. The reason being, those things, we're going to use them individually, but they are going to also be incorporated in the long, bigger picture. I told you I'm doing a lot of fundamentals, right? And I've also built a software. I've also built a dashboard that has all the fundamentals, and that dashboard is going to help you a lot because it will confirm even here. But at this moment, I don't know when I'm going to release it, because I'm going to start sharing the long-term strategy next year. So from now onwards, I'm just modifying it, and I've been using it myself, so it's working for me. Remember, I don't share something until it works for me. So yeah, I will introduce it next year. Right now, I just want everybody to make sure they master this, and I'm currently adding this long-term strategy on the playbook because I've been using it for a long time. So those who have the playbook, it's a lifetime update. I'll tell you when I post it so that you can just download it. For those who need the playbook, it's in the description. But anyway, what I say, I've shared everything on this channel. You can just look at the channel, you see everything. But important, don't forget these things, because they are the ones we use here. They are the ones we use here, because you can't just buy here. You see, you're gonna get confused. Let me show you on the charts quite quick. Okay, let's look at this. It's not important for you to know the asset. It's important to know the setup, because these things are going to happen each and every day. And I love, because somebody actually also mentioned that in a comment, the asset doesn't matter. So if we look at this one, we can see we had point number 1 here, we had point number 2 here, and this is almost a touch, but it's okay, we can just omit it if you are not yet experienced. We had another touch here, and we had another touch here. I recorded this when the prices were still going up, and I sold it here using the trend reversal strategy. Here I'll show you. So when this asset, it's on a daily time frame, this is a daily time frame, and if you count the number of points that this move was giving, you will realize that it gave a lot. When I actually sold it somewhere here, and I took 900 points though, because I don't want to take exactly at the line. Why? Because there will be a lot of buy orders there. Prices might not even reach this line, so I took 900 and something. It was around here, because I used most probably this level over here, you see, and I just enjoyed it. 1 2 3 4 5 days, 900 was hit, you see. And then even here, look, they gave a very beautiful trend reversal strategy here, very beautiful one. You see, if you take this one, because this is an inside day, I'll speak about it some other day, you get this move very early. You take it from the bottom, and you take your profits quite early, because as you can see, even here they did what? They did not reach here. Why? Because there's a lot of buying momentum here. But the day you see that they've closed here, they closed low here, they gave a red day somewhere here, you can take your profits, all right? Or you can simply take when they break this low. Again, you took a lot of money, or else you add as they give you a trend day, you add and add and add. We'll talk about trade management some other time. You see, you got a trend day somewhere here, you see, another opportunity to the downside. Again, you get a trend day, another opportunity to the upside. See, so all these things, this is free cash. But this is a trend day, this black one. You want to take a trend day when we are at an extreme. That's dangerous. Because you can see we are at extremes. But because this one was a trend day, you want to take a trend day down. You can't take this trend day because we are at extremes. You can't take this trend day because we are at extremes. You see, if they break out, they